Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Creativity Broadcast. I'm Laura Westman, professional certified coach, among a ton of other things that I do. Tips, tricks, ideas, inspiration for a more creatively fulfilling living. I'm here basically to help you have more fun and do more good. Today's topic is the 4 types of creativity. I think this is a really important topic because people come to me all the time with this weird idea that they're not creative, or they just seem to feel like the things that they actually want to do and spend their creative energy on are really out of reach. But basically that feeling of like, I'm not creative is this huge barrier for a lot of people. Even if you actually have a creative past and you want to get back into it, you might have this feeling of like, oh, I'm not creative enough, or et cetera, et cetera. And my experience is that most of the time we're actually being quite creative, just maybe in ways that we don't judge as creative or not creative. So this is what we're about to talk about, these 4 different types of creativity. And I want to be really clear that these are not the only types of creativity. And I don't know that I actually came up with them, but I have absorbed them somehow. So here I am to explain them to you. So the first type of creativity, I'm going to call productive creativity. Productive creativity is the one that I think most adults think of when they think about creativity. And this is things like you're making stuff, you're crocheting, you're writing music, you're spending time working on something that is innately a creative project, or maybe this is for your job. Maybe you actually are very creatively productive a lot in the work that you do or the things that you're producing. Teachers, I would put in the category of like, they do a lot of productive creativity all the time. Thank you, teachers. You know, even if you're in data entry, you're actually doing a lot of productive creativity, even if it doesn't feel very fun. So productive creativity, this is also the realm where like if you're a musician and you're working on your album or something like that, this is the part of the process where you're bringing everything together. You're like, we're no longer in the idea phase. It's time to actually thread stuff together, get it down, get it completed and ready to send out into the world. So this is productive creativity. Second kind of creativity is receptive creativity. This is one that most of the time, whether it's because we are adults or we are in a capitalist society or just a lot of demands on our time and energy, receptive creativity is actually really important for all the other types of creativity. We just are conditioned to think that it totally doesn't matter. Receptive creativity looks different for everyone, but you know what it is when you're in it. It's like you're kind of in that dreamy, enjoying, like you're taking in music, you're enjoying music, you're taking in the sky or the landscape, you're reading a book because it brings you pleasure. These are all ways that you can actually be in your receptive creative mode because they are feeding you, even if you're not producing something. I actually find receptive creativity to be super rejuvenating, but it's also really nice. Okay. So the third type of creativity is what I would call imaginative or playful creativity. And this is exactly what it sounds like, which is being kind of like in the active practice of making stuff. There's this thing that I use in my coaching practice that I call imagining, which is literally just mushing together the act of planning stuff and also imagining what it could be. So you're kind of daydreaming about it. You're looking at where things might go. What would it look like if we did this? What would it look like if we did this? Improv skills are really useful here. On West of Wonderland podcast, we talk about daydreaming a lot as a skill. And this is that type of creativity where it's like, you're in the realm of what's possible, what could be, what would be fun, what would be exciting. Usually creative teams need at least one person who's like really dedicated to this to make sure that everything is like moving forward and getting created. This is also the person who tends to veer in this lane of creativity, imaginative or playful creativity, also tends to be the one that people don't listen to because they've got head in the clouds. But we need head in the clouds. It's actually really important. It's also really important if you're an artist, you're beginning a new project, you're a musician, you're beginning a new album, like you got to be able to spend time playing in that space of of what can we imagine, and if this, then what, et cetera, et cetera. This is definitely my favorite part. I have a bunch of workshop material, both coaching and improv inspired, to actually help train this particular skill because nobody values it, but it's kind of the best. So the fourth type of creativity, I'm going to call meditative creativity. And this is the one where you're in a creative activity of some kind, and it's actually helping to calm you, and you have the experience of actually being still, calm, focused. It takes you out of whatever is on your mind. It sort of has the same effect of doing a meditation or taking a long walk or something, where it might take a little while to get into it and to leave your worries behind. But once you kind of cross that particular hill, you're really in the zone. You kind of go on autopilot. It's wonderful. For me, some of the meditative creative activities that really hit home, this is weird, but like tidying up, like that is actually a meditative creative practice. Sometimes playing a song that I really love on piano or on guitar, which I'm not very good at, but like the experience of not practicing it, but actually like playing it, kind of letting this part of you take over, or drawing, or even using a freaking coloring book. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The whole point is, can I just let myself get lost in this for a little while? It sort of has that effect of like, sometimes at night you're driving home and you suddenly find yourself at home, but you sort of like don't remember taking a bunch of turns, but you took them safely because that's how you got there. That's kind of what meditative creativity is like, where you're so in it that you kind of just melt into it. All right, so those are my 4 types of creativity for all of you today. Definitely want to know, which one do you find yourself in a lot? Which one would you benefit from spending more time in? If you are a creative leader, which one of these is your team strong in? Which one of these do you think they could benefit from? And perhaps most importantly, which one of these will bring you the most fun? Okay. Well, that's it for today's episode of the Creativity Broadcast. If you like this and you want more content, like, subscribe. Got a ton of links down below for my book, my courses, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Oh, and West Wonderland podcast, where you can come and learn about all things daydreaming and magical media with me and Bae Quiney. Great. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.